Last trio here in this first pen of gilts, we're going to have 10-3, 10-4, and 11-1. The thin-belted gilt there in the center is going to be 10-4. The Hampshire Mark smaller gilt is going to be 10-3. And then the bigger gilt, just bigger everywhere. You can see on your screen there is going to be 11-1. Again, those 10s are Major League, Best Kept Secret, King of the Hill. Grandma's a mate to the reserve at Houston. Mom's gilt litter would have had Pick of the Barn at Kingpins, Third Overall Division II Dark Cross in Columbus, and the Hemp Hill and Ellsworth Hogs that win a bunch there last summer. 11-1, that'll be the first 11 litter we've seen. It's going to be, I guess, a pedigree that's near and dear here. Judgment Day, Checkmate, Red Alert. Grandma would be known as kind of Miss Thang for the people that follow our program really closely. But it'd be the Red Alert Sow that wins the Eastern Regional in 18. Mom and her two littermate sisters win classes at OYLE there, which is the Ohio State Fair Replacement Show in 20. And then I guess the neat thing here, the mom of the 11s has raised some county fair winners. She was the mom of her 8s last year. I know Went had a gilt that got along a few times in the Ohio Summer Circuit. But then the black-headed barrow that was actually sold there by Rosebird Show Pigs, he wins Division I in Columbus and his 4th overall Dark Cross. That was the Saved by Grace Checkmate. That would be a bred that we sold. So the mom of the 11s is the littermate sister to the mom of that barrow for those that were there and saw those.
I'll start with 10-3 there, and these major leagues continue to impress. I think a really nice set, both 9 and 10 litter in the major leagues, and maybe some of the earlier ones that we've got the chance to lay a bunch of eyes on. But 10-3, just in terms of overall completeness, I think very, very good. I think this gilt's muscle pattern's right. Her bone and her feature are very, very good, and her skull is very stout. And just in terms of overall feature, bone, muscle, having kind of checking all the boxes that we look for on baby pigs, I think this one just does a lot of things very, very nice. And having lots of pieces that you can take this one home with a feed bucket and get really excited to push her hard and make her extreme, or if you want to pull her back and make her a little prettier, I think you've got the option to kind of go both ways with the 10-3 gilt. So very versatile, in my opinion, in terms of a feeder, but one that can be extremely high quality. 10-4, her sister over there, I think it's almost a tough one to describe, but I think this gilt's burly and stout, but also still reads pretty green. When you look in terms of feature like skull and foot and bone, I think this gilt's monstrous, just a huge hind leg and really big paws up front and a really, really stout mug. But then when you read her in terms of her muscle pattern and maybe her growth development, she almost reads a little greener. So I think this one's got some pieces that are extremely fun, and it would be fun to feed on for sure. There's no doubt. I mean, this one, just in terms of what she can be down the road and then what she could even be early on, I think are very, very exciting both ways. So 10-4, just an interesting gilt that kind of has some contrasting features at this stage of the game, but I think things that are really exciting. And then 11-1, the bigger kind of narrow-belted gilt there in the center. I think this gilt just reads really neat from the side, like a cool look and extension all the way through. Her hip is extremely level. Her back shape is pretty much unparalleled. I mean, this gilt's got a giant ditch running down her top and really, really big backed. And I think that's something that's going to help her in a show career setting, but also couple that with the look and the build that she has. I think this one's pretty exciting. And, I think we'll hear what Jim and both Garrett have to say about her, but not only could she show early and be successful, and the guys that appreciate one like that, but also I think her time as a big one could be extremely, extremely good. I think this gilt, we get into the middle towards the end of summer, could be really, really awesome, but really, really nice trio here.
Yeah, I'll start with that big gilt there too, the 11-1. Several of these hogs are going to be dual purpose as far as market and breeding. This one, to me, looks like a breeding gilt, breeding hog, but still has the shape and the extreme look out of her front end to be a market hog, and I think that's pretty good. And she obviously looks like to me like she's got tremendous grow into her with her rib and her body dimension that she's got. Really got a set of wheels on her on both ends. Bones match, everything good. She's clean jointed. Everything fits and matches extremely well. That one could be, again, very, very good early. And I guess I would probably run that one in a breeding deal in a jackpot circuit myself. Absolutely. Not that she's not attractive and muscular, but that one there really has an awful good kind of a look as far as production goes too. And we don't see it in show pigs a lot of times when you go around the country. And she's got a lot there. And then this one's got grow also. I think a very, very neat kind of a gilt. The little 9-3 or 10-3 down there on the other end, I'll talk about that one. To me, that is a pounds lighter version of the 10-2. Very, very good built hog. just pounds lighter. She's a green one that you can feed hard on and go, and she's going to look good early, but that one there is going to be probably incredibly impressive over the period of time through the summer. And I think again one that fits the bill for just structure, design, build, bone, everything put together the kind of the way it needs to be. The little 10-4 here is another one. That one there, is one that I think is going to be better later. She's a greener topped one that again has a very extremely good build, but I think over a period of time, as she builds her framework over that time, could probably be maybe her best in August, early August, I would guess, Garrett. And you'll give them the time frames, but. That one there again, just a little more management on kind of making sure that one stays the look out of her front end. That one there is really stout build and extra good at her bones and joints and way everything's put together.
Yep, no, absolutely, and I guess again, I think the 11 gilt. I would fully agree with what Jim says. I mean, she shows as a breeding, and again, that one gets probably realistically her appetite and the way that salon feeds and just her build. She gets as big as you want her to, about as fast as you want her to, and I mean that in a positive way. And again, have some limitations there. We don't want them eating 37 pounds a day at the same time, but because I promise you, we fed enough out of that sow line. They'll eat it if you put in front of them. But again, and then the 10s as a whole, I mean, I really think, again, exactly like Jim said, maybe the smaller pair of them. And ones that from that sow line, what they've fed, I would say less does more with them, realistically speaking. As far as feed conversion goes, those pigs out of that sow so far will eat smaller amounts and be able to gain and grow and maintain freshness. So that would be a pair. I mean, I really think August and on endpoints fit really, really well. I really think 10-3 is one probably realistically can probably feed harder than 10-4. I think 10-4 is one of those gilts people talk like state fair, and then realistically with where we're at in the show pig world, I think that one can get into the fall honestly really comfortably depending on what you want to do. So again, the big gilt's 11-1. The gilt on the far side there on your screen is going to be 10-3. The thin belted gilt closest to you is 10-4.